Good morning. Thank you. It's an impressive turnout for the last day of a conference after a big night out. Thanks for coming and listening to us. I'm going to be speaking about two projects that we have, our two projects, and each one is a standalone project, so we're very excited about that. They're in West Africa. There's the disclaimer, which I encourage you to read if you can't sleep. I'll talk to you about why we're called Mako. I'm a shark nut, like diving with them, usually in a cage. And the Mako shark is the fastest shark in the ocean. It's a very successful hunter, yet very careful. And we model ourselves after that, where we move very fast, but cautiously as well. I'll talk a little bit about what we've done already. We only listed on the ASX last year in April, and we've been aggressively exploring both in Burkina Faso and in Côte d'Ivoire. So we're rapidly advancing our Napier project, which is a JV with Perseus Mining. And we've made a discovery, which we announced in January on our Côte d'Ivoire Burkina project, which is the new project. We've got significant widths and high grades in both of those, and lots of blue sky. You'll be able to see how many kilometers of prospective ground we have. More to the point, we've done this before. Our teams made discoveries in West Africa, and we're here to do it again. So as you can see, our board and management, everybody on there except two people, the chairman and the company secretary, are ex-Orbis Gold. For those of you that are familiar with that story, Orbis Gold got taken out in 2015 by TSX-listed Semifo, and that's because we did our job too well and found the deposits. So everybody except two people are from Orbis, and same with our crew on the ground, which once again, moving fast like a Mako shark. We went from listing to drilling in under a month. So the guys that are working, guys and gals that are working for us, we've known them for at least 8 years. These are our two projects. You can see why we in West Africa rather than WA or somewhere like that. Well, there's 60 plus 1 million ounce deposits in the Birimian Greenstone. And out of that, there's 35 deposits that are over 3 million ounces. You can see the plus 3 million ounces in red, and you can see that we're strategically positioned in the Birimian Greenstone. You can see the two deposits that we discovered when we were with Orbis Gold previously on the right-hand side. I led the team on the Ndabanga discovery, which was about 600,000 ounces at roughly 10 grams per ton. Semifo is currently putting about $4 million into that because it's got lots of blue sky. And not to be outdone, my wife, that's my colleague from 25 years as well, she led the team on the Boungou deposit, which is currently in production. Semifo put it into production. So that was a high-grade one as well, 2 million ounces at 3.4 grams per ton. It's been re-optimized to about 4.5 grams per ton. So just to let you know that we do know how to find those high-grade deposits, because finding those 5 million ounces at 1 gram per ton does not work anymore, and I never believed them in anyway. So here's our graph. It's looking pretty well like every other junior, going the wrong way. We've got a market cap of about 6 million. We're trading at about 9 cents a share right now. What's noteworthy is that board management's got a lot of skin in the game. You can see we've got about 21% of the company, and so that means that our interests are obviously aligned with the shareholders. We want to make this work. A good endorsement that we got at our IPO was when Resolute came on board. Resolute Mining came on board with 2 million out of our 6 million raise. So they're a very good partner to have. They're a shareholder, obviously, but we talk to them a lot, and they're very helpful. We've also got a very good association with Perseus Mining, which I'll talk about a little bit more. There's our Napier project in Côte d'Ivoire, and that's a deal that we did with Occidental Gold, a subsidiary of Perseus Mining. And I'll answer the question before you ask it. Was it a dog? Is that why they were getting rid of it? No, it's not. The reason I targeted them, actually, they weren't looking for a JV partner, is you can see at the north end of the map, there's a Sisenge mine. That's got about 400,000 ounces of reserves, and they were putting it into production at the time, and I knew they'd be looking for more ounces for that. They're also putting Yaouré into production, 3.4 million ounces. Therefore, I knew they had some good tier 2 projects that they didn't have a mandate to work. So they were very happy to see us, a proven explorer, come along and work the ground well. So we can earn up to 51% by spending 1.5 million US over 3 years. After a year, we've almost achieved that first milestone. That's how quickly we move. And we can earn up to 75% by taking it to feasibility. And of course, we're the operator. So I'll get you a little familiar with that slide because I really want to impress on you the scale of the project. North to south on the Napgate project is 30 kilometers. So what the green blebs and yellow blebs are a soil and auger anomaly. So that's 23 kilometers long. And that red arrow you see is outlining the dotted black line. That shows a regional shear of 17 kilometers long, interpreted from geophysics that we just recently got reinterpreted. So you can see all the good drill holes we've got on that already. The red dots are anything 5 to 10 gram meters. Pink is anything over 10 gram meters. So we've got it's almost like two projects, the Chaga prospect and the Gogbala prospect. And I'll talk about both of them. But look at the results we've gotten already. 8 meters at 8.5 grams per ton, 25 meters at 3.5, 28 at 4.8, 4.9. I think that's a pretty good start after only about 70 drill holes. So right now, talking about the Chaga prospect, it's the one at the very north that you can see on the right-hand side. We've drilled it to about 400-meter strike length. We're just about to start drilling on it in about 3 weeks again. The white holes, the white with black dots are holes that we're going to be drilling. And we're hoping to outline that to 1.4 kilometers, after which we can make announcements and everybody can do back of the envelope calculation and say, geez, they got quite a few ounces there. And that's when we start hopefully doing our resource drill out. This is a cross section of it. It just shows you how we get these broad zones of high-grade gold in this particular section, 115 meters wide. So we've had a structural geologist look at it, the same guy that did the structure for Papillon, Fekola. We think that we're really starting to understand that and that we can move ahead really quickly on it. One thing we have an advantage is, as you can see in the core, we've got alteration of cerussite and quartz carbonate veins. So that's very distinguishable when our guys are logging even the chips from RC drilling. They look for that, and then they know that we're in the sweet zone. Now you can see a broader picture of, along the whole, not quite even the whole 17 kilometers of shear zone. We're only looking at 9 kilometers. So at the north end of that map, you can see the Chaga prospect, which we're going to drill out to 1.4 kilometers. At the south end, we've already drilled out the Gogbala prospect for 2 kilometers, very wide space drilling. So we're going to, try to prove up the Chaga prospect and then show all the blue sky that's in between along that 9-kilometer trend. Now I'll talk about our Burkina project, and we're particularly proud of that one because the Napgate project, Perseus did everything that I would have done with my 30-year career as far as, the airborne, the soils, RAB drilling, everything. It was just begging to be drilled. But this one we brought up from nothing. It's pure, pure green fields, and that's what we like to do, and that's what we're good at. So already in the main artisanal site, we've gotten some very good results. 21 meters at 2.7, another 21 meters at just under 2. I'll show you a little bit more. And if you've heard some negative things about Burkina Faso, yes, there's a little bit of trouble in the north end and in the east end, where our project is located. It's 50 kilometers from the capital city, Ouagadougou. And no issues there whatsoever. And so that's the work that we did. We did a regional soil sampling program. We outlined the 7-kilometer anomaly, soil auger anomaly, and that white area you see at the bottom of that map is a 2-kilometer by 1-kilometer artisanal gold mining site. And in that one site, we only put 7 drill holes, and out of that, 6 of them came back with significant results. You can see some of the numbers. I'm not going to read them off for you, but once again, one hole had the 24, 21, and another 21. That's all in one hole. So I'll draw your attention to the little blue line in that red square, and I'll show you a little bit of a blow-up of that area. So that blue line is a section across those 3 holes. You can see how the only places where there's no mineralization is where we didn't drill. So if you take the entire hole, for example, hole 7 on the right-hand side, and you take the waste and everything else, it averages to about 100 meters at 1.5 grams per ton. And there's very, very little in that hole that's actually below detection. So we think we're onto a major shear zone. Right in that area, those 3 holes are 315 meters wide. So, you know, pretty significant widths here. So that's the blow-up of the area that we're going to be drilling. Again, we're going to be drilling that before the wet season. That starts sometime in June, late June. And the pink holes you see are the holes that we've done. You saw the 3 in section, the 3 pink holes, and the black and white ones are the ones that we're going to be drilling within about a month or so. And our aim for that one as well is we're going to drill it along strike to about 400 meters, and the width of the program we got planned now is about 300 meters. So once again, we'll put out our announcements. I think people will do their back of the envelope calculation, and then they'll say, wow, you guys need to do a lot more drilling, and that's when we're going to contemplate a resource drill out. So you can see that we're moving the projects really quickly. And, our next step is really to get a resource, because I know I invest in companies and I don't like it when people don't get resources. So our plans going forward, pretty simple. We're going to start drilling in Côte d'Ivoire in about 3 weeks, by the end of the month, early June at the latest. And as soon as we're done that, we're going to move on to our Burkina project and drill that. And, we keep all our costs down. That's why we don't have a crew in each one. We got a really good crew. They go on one project, they take a break, then they go on another project. And it's working really well for us. It's moving our projects forward quickly. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. And we're right at the back, in the back room there, where all the cold drinks are. So we'll be there all day. And if you have any questions, more than happy to answer them for you. Thanks for your time.
Peter.